Well, among many things that I've seen in the first 6 weeks of our League One campaign, I have witnessed what could be the best goal I've seen in FM21. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 45 of One Team, One Dream, Into the Woods. My name is James, and on today's episode, we have a third round Carabao Cup tie against Championship Sheffield Wednesday, followed by a possible welcome back to Meadow Park for Adam McDonald as we play Salford at home. Now, since the last episode, it's been about 6 weeks in game, and what a 6 weeks it has been. So in the last episode, we started the season off with that amazing 4-1 win at home to Fleetwood. We followed that up with another 2 wins in the league against Doncaster and Wimbledon without conceding a single goal. The biggest highlight for me was the 2-0 win against Championship Millwall. And that was the first of 2 Championship sides that we beat on this little run, because we also faced Brentford in the second round of the Carabao Cup, and we managed to get past them 3-2. Either side of that, we lost to Milton Keynes, sadly at home. A little bit disappointing, but as at that point, it was the only loss we'd had so far this season. I would have been happy with that. But then we bounced back after the Carabao Cup win with a 2-1 away win against Crewe. We lost to Woking in the league trophy. Doesn't really mean much to me at all. It was only on penalties. We then beat Lincoln 3-1 away. And then to round off this run of games, we completely lost our heads. And we have conceded 8 goals in 2 games, as we lost back-to-back 4-2 against Burton and 4-0 against Oxford. So that puts us 6th in the table after 8 games, which is a massive confidence boost, as we're expected to be easily relegated this season. But even this early on in the season, I've seen a lot of positive things from this team, and I really do think if we carry on playing the way we are, there is a small chance we could actually make the playoffs this season. It's a very outside chance, and it's not an expectation I'm putting on the players. However, I like to think this season is going to look very differently to how we were expecting it to just 2 months ago. Now, obviously, this is a team game, but we have a couple of key players who are really making their mark in League One this season. To start with, John Yeats has stepped up yet again, carried on where he left off last season. He's already scored 7 goals in 8 games with a 7.31 average rating. He's scored 10 goals in all competitions if you include his 3 in the Cups. Reece Devine is currently second in the table for average rating. Sadly, he has been injured for the last couple of weeks, but is on the road to recovery, and hopefully we might see him in the second match of today's episode. And then finally, Ryan Alabiosu, this man, why I ever played him at fullback, I have absolutely no idea. He's come in, he's got 4 assists so far this season in 8 games, 2 goals and a 7.2 average rating with 1 player of the match. We might not have found our main right back yet, but I think we have found a star winger. Now, also since the last episode, we have had the transfer deadline day, and we brought in a couple more players. I mentioned we haven't found our main right back. We haven't signed a main right back yet. However, we have found a stopgap for the time being. Back on loan, we want to welcome back Shay Charles, the man who was with us very early on in our campaign when we got up into League Two. He played 41 games for us. He got a move to Cardiff for £300,000. This was one of the ones that I remember. There was 3 players that season who all disappeared off, completely out of my control. The board wanted to sell them. We've managed to bring him back in for the season. He's played 4 games already, got 1 assist and a 7.05. I'm so happy the fact we now have somebody who I can trust at right back while we try and find a permanent replacement. The only other player we brought in was a backup goalkeeper, Kristen Walton, who is a 3-star current ability, 28-year-old English goalkeeper who has been around the block. He's been in every single division in the Football League. Most recently at Brighton, where he played a couple of games over the 4 seasons he was there with them in the Premier League. And he's happy to be a backup goalkeeper, and so at least we've got somebody to bring in if the worst happens and Huddart gets a major injury. Now, before we get into the first match of today's episode, as I said in the intro, I've witnessed what I think is probably one of the best goals I've seen on FM21. It was the single goal against Doncaster away in the league, scored by Martel Taylor-Crosdale, who's only scored 3 goals so far this season, which, compared with last season, is a little bit of a shock. What a goal this was, though, to get off the mark this season. If we go into the match, so Adebayo picks up the ball in midfield, goes back to Hosanna. Hosanna chips it over the top, and Taylor-Crosdale volleys it from over the top of his head into the back of the net. So good, I want to see it again. Adebayo picks up the ball to Hosanna. Brilliant chip over the top. And Taylor Crossdale on the volley, swinging his leg around like it's on a hinge, smashes it into the top, into the roof of the net, and putting us on the way to a 4-game winning streak. I don't think we'll see many better than that, but hopefully we'll see many more goals from Taylor Crossdale this season. So let's get into the first match of today's episode, as we have an opportunity to beat a third championship side this season, the Carabao Cup. I think it's unlikely that it's going to be happening a third time, but I said that before the first two as well. So I'm holding out nothing at this point. Couple of bits of fitness news. Devine is on the bench. He's fit apparently for 60 minutes, but isn't fully fit enough, I think, to start the game. So he might come on for a little bit of time in the second half. Andy is also struggling for fitness, so he's on the bench with Rossiter coming in for him. But the big one is, in the last match, Alabiosu, our star man out wide, got injured in the 4-0 drumming against Oxford. He's got pulled ankle ligament and is going to be out for up to 2 weeks. So we will sadly be missing him from both the games on this episode. So the team starting against Sheffield Wednesday is Huddart in goal, a back four of Thompson, Masterson, Kirk and Hosanna. Masterson has actually come in for Tricker. He was complaining that he wasn't getting enough first team football, which is maybe understandable. And Tricker hasn't exactly been playing very well over the last couple of games. Started off really well, so his overall average for the season is still quite high. But in the last couple of games, he's been struggling a bit, so I've dropped him down to the bench. So Adebayo should be taking over the captaincy band for this game. So Adebayo and Rossiter in central midfield. Robson and Daly are the wide men. Yeats and Taylor Crossdale are the partnership that get the nod to start this game, with Fagan down on the bench. Fagan, who hasn't scored a single goal so far this season, which is a little bit disappointing, but we still have a long way to go. I really want to work out a way that I can try and get all three strikers firing. So regardless of who we have on the field, we know we are guaranteed goals. I don't care if we win or lose, as long as we play better than we have done in the last couple of games. We have a corner on 19 minutes. Roster with a corner, whipped into the centre. Unfortunately, can't find anybody other than a Sheffield Wednesday head. And Cooper now collects the ball for Sheffield Wednesday. He is allowed to turn. He's in loads of space. He is outstripping everyone else around him. We've now got him closing down the right-hand side. Brilliant close down by Thompson. He managed to stop him, get the cross in. Tries to hoof it forward to find Yeats. Unfortunately, Sheffield Wednesday win the ball back yet again. Cooper now with the ball. He's put it through. Huddart comes out bravely, clutches the ball, and manages to bring it down. Huddart tries to put the ball forward. What on earth is Huddart doing there? The compliment had barely been out of my mouth, the fact he had come out bravely to do that, and then done something utterly stupid. What he was doing here, just get it over the players to at least the halfway line, but Savage manages to nod the ball back to Mead, who puts it past Huddart, and in a calamitous series of events, we manage to go behind. We have a throw-in on the left-hand side with Thompson, one-to-one with Adebayo. Now to Masterson. Adebayo back to Masterson. Back out to Thompson again, the original throw-in taker. Building it forward a little bit more now. Robson with the ball. Unfortunately, he's being marked, so he goes back to Thompson, back to Masterson. Trying to find a gap in the centre. Masterson tries to put it forward, trying to find Yeats, but Yeats is being marked out of the game. And Sheffield Wednesday are now going to try and bring the ball forward. Robson tries to put a tackle in. Unfortunately, Cooper keeps the ball. Mead Kirk managed to get the ball in this time, but only as far as Cooper. We cannot get the ball cleared properly. And Sheffield Wednesday are coming forward again. O'Brien on the edge of the penalty area takes a wild shot. Luckily, it goes far wide of the goal and into the stand. Huddart with a goal kick on 42 minutes. We want to try and build something so far. I don't think we've even had a single shot on target so far in this game. Daly with the ball now. Finding Adebayo in the centre. Nice 1-2, Roster and Adebayo. Manages to find Hosanna out wide. Back into the centre again. Back out wide, Hosanna. Taylor Crossdale is free in the penalty area. Tries to go past the goalkeeper. He puts it through the goalkeeper's legs instead. Only his 4th goal of the season. But it draws us level against Sheffield Wednesday. Really nice, patient build-up play from our guys here. Keeping the ball. Hosanna saw the opportunity as Taylor Crossdale lost his man. Slots it through the goalkeeper, into the far corner, into the back of the net, making it Sheffield Wednesday 1, Boreham Wood won just before half-time. That is what we need, and it was actually our first shot on target, only our second shot in the entire game. But that really does change things for the second half. I think I'm going to pump fists. Great opportunity to show everyone that you've been deserving of the plaudits that you've been given. 60 minutes on the clock. Let's have a little look and see if we want to make any substitutions. Thompson isn't playing very well, so I'm going to bring on Devine for the last half hour. Try and get a bit of fitness into him. Robson isn't playing very well either, so I'm going to bring on Kevin Kennedy, our youngster, on that left-hand side. Put him on a winger support role. And do you know what? I'm actually going to make all three substitutions. Yates has had a little bit of a poor game as well. A bit of a quiet game. I think he's been marked out of this game, if I'm honest. So we'll bring on Fagan on in that advanced forward role to partner alongside Taylor Crossdale. See if we can try and get a winning goal in this match. What a goal it would be. But I will happily take a draw at this point. We have a throw in on left-hand side with Devine to Kennedy. First touch on the ball. Back to Devine. Both substitutions there trying to get a cross in. Fortunately, Sheffield Wednesday win the ball. We win the ball back again to Adebayi, to Rossiter, to Daly. Managed to find Taylor Crossdale. Back to Rossiter. Managed to go back all the way to Hosanna. Can he get a second assist of the game? Whips it into the centre. Finds Kennedy. Kennedy off the crossbar. And he wheels away in celebration as our youngster, I think he's only 17 years old, comes on in a third round Carabao Cup tie against Championship Sheffield Wednesday. Hosanna with the ball. He's got his second assist of the game. Kennedy managed to find loads of space. No one was marking him at all. In off the crossbar to make it 2-1. And we are on the way now to a historic third victory in the Carabao Cup this season against three Championship sides. 88 minutes on the clock. Masterson with a free kick in our half. I'm hoping this is going to be a nothing highlight. Kennedy gets the ball to Adebayi. Back to Masters. Do not mess around. What was that? What is going on here? Mead in the centre. Luckily, that goes wide. My heart was in my mouth at that point. But that is it. It is full time. We have had 2 shots on target. Sheffield Wednesday have peppered our goal today with 13 shots. But we scored the 2 that counts to make it Boreham Wood 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Another fantastic victory in the Carabao Cup. People did have us written off today. They're going to have to start taking us seriously at this point. I'm hoping they don't, in fact, because we'd see how far we can go in this cup competition. I think a cup run is definitely due. Something we've been missing in this series so far. We've tried a little bit in the league trophy, but to have a legitimate cup run would be absolutely brilliant. We will jump forward to the Salford game, and if we have the draw in between, I'll be back for that as well. It is Saturday morning, and we have the Carabao Cup 4th round just before our home game against Salford. Who have we got left in the cup? Now, it would be really nice to get one of the fellow League One sides that are remaining. We have Charlton and Gillingham, but there is a wave of Premier League ties in there as well, with a smattering of Championship left. So there is a very good chance we're going to get a Premier League tie. As I don't think this works in the same way as the FA Cup, so there isn't that shared gate, it would be awesome to get a Premier League team at home to bring them back to Meadow Park. Let's do the automatic draw. First fixture is going to be Arsenal versus Bournemouth. All Premier League tie there. Tottenham versus Norwich, another Premier League tie. Fulham against Gillingham, one of the League One teams has gone. Sheffield United would just beat Sheffield Wednesday, but they face Crystal Palace. Charlton against Chelsea. So we are going to face a Premier League team, but who is it going to be? Leicester have Liverpool. Bournemouth, we are at home against Leeds. I mean, I didn't think I'd be disappointed, but I mean, Leeds is historically a very big club, but when you have teams such as Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, I mean, it's a Premier League side, and I'm sure the fans will turn up for it. Where are Leeds in the Premier League? They are 14th in the Premier League at the moment, so they're having an okay season so far. Historically, where have they been? So we've got 16th, 11th, 12th. So they're historically a middling table. They had a 7th place finish last year, and they are actually in the is it the Europa League Conference Trophy, I think it's called, something like that. So they are actually a European side. So maybe we might actually get a decent gate for that match. So it's on the 30th of October, right at the end of October. So I think what we'll do is that will actually be the next episode. We do have a couple of top teams actually we're facing that month as well. Bit of a tough run. We've got Peterborough currently in 5th, Walsall in 3rd, and Sunderland in 7th. Barnsley are in 19th, and Wickham are in 11th. So they're not really teams that are up and around the playoffs at this time. What I'll do is we'll definitely come back for that match, and we'll play one of these matches in and around that game as well. Right, let's get into the Salford game. So there's only a couple of changes for this game. Devine comes in to start, with Thompson dropping down to the bench. And Charles, after being cup-tied in the Carabao Cup, comes back in onto the bench as well. But for how well Hosanna played in that last game, I can't very well drop him after he got 2 assists against Sheffield Wednesday. Other than that, the team is unchanged. Now let's see, is Adam McDonald... Adam McDonald disappointingly isn't even in the side, which is a bit of a shame, but doesn't really affect how we want to go into this game. I'm going to point the finger. Time to put this poor runner form to an end. Go out there and make it count. Absolutely no reaction other than Ricky Fagan, and Fagan is on the bench. Well, if he's the only one coming into this with a boost of mentality, then maybe he might be coming on sooner than we think. But we have a highlight straight away from Salford's kickoff. This is slightly concerning. Salford going all the way back to their goalkeeper, though. Hoofed forward. Managed to put it through to Adam. Adam cuts straight through our men. Kirk puts in the last-ditch tackle. Puts it out for a corner. That was a very edgy first start. I thought the worst thing we could have now is to concede straight from the kickoff. Right, 25 minutes in, and we have switched to a positive mentality. We have a corner with Devine. The ball is cleared. Now the ball is to Adebayi. I've switched to a positive mentality because we are dominating the possession in this game, and I really want to try and take advantage of that. I don't think we're quite putting enough key chances on their goal in this game. But Huddart hoofs the ball forward. Taylor Crossdale's passed his man into the penalty area. Doesn't even break his stride, smashes it into the top corner. Even for a second, I questioned whether Taylor Crossdale was going to have the season that he has had for the last couple of years. And he has, on this episode alone, proven that he is still the same man that he was on the edge of the penalty area. As I said, didn't break his stride, smashed it past the goalkeeper into the top corner to make it 1-0. Right, Salford have a corner with Wilson on the left-hand side, whipped into the centre. We managed to clear it. Yeats is free with the ball. Can we counter that attack, though? Yeats using his pace, going past everyone. He has 3 men in the centre, though, for Salford. Goes past them all, tries to take it on all by himself. It was such a tight angle, though. He weirdly has scored a very similar goal during the run that we had at the start of the season, but sadly not this time. And just before half-time, Salford have a final opportunity. Smith with the ball out wide on the right-hand side. Devine puts in the tackle, manages to clear it, does really well. Devine, showing the injury, hasn't really bothered him. Yeats with the ball, though, in the penalty area, off the deflection from Devine. Unfortunately, another opportunity goes to waste. That one was a little bit better, and you'd expect Yeats to, at the very least, try and get a shot off. But the defender did really well to get back and block any opportunity that Yeats had. I'm going to pump the fists. Things are going well, but I know they're capable better. Again, absolutely no reaction. And as we're coming up to 60 minutes, we have a corner for Salford. And from the corner, Famara with the header in the penalty area, unfortunately draws level. Salford have done very little else in this game, if I'm honest. Whipped into the centre. He came running in. Number 5, not sure who number 5 is, came running in for the distraction. But it was the Salford striker that put the ball in the back of the net. Now I think is the opportunity to try and make some substitutions. Yeats is having another poor game. We'll bring Fagan on. We've had a reversal of roles here. I was talking about how well Yeats had done so far in this season, and he's had 2 fairly off games. Adebayo's got a positive rating, but he is struggling for fitness, so I'm going to take him off. Bring on Mundell in his place. And almost straight away, Taylor Crossdale has picked up a knock, and he's now going to have to come off as well, struggling to run it off. Right, Daly is going to have to go up front, as we've already taken Yeats off, which is very frustrating. I'm going to have to take Crossdale off, and Shea Charles is going to have to go out on that right-hand side. He can't play as the winger, but hopefully as he can play on that right-hand side, and he has some decent physical stats, he should be able to at least survive out there for the time being. And that is unfortunately our forced final change, with still 20 minutes left to play. I am going to encourage the players, if we see out this game with a draw, at this point I'd say it's probably a positive. with some of the with Taylor, Crossdale, and Yeats both going off. But we have a highlight here with Huddart with the goal with a free kick. Sorry, not a goal kick. Kirk full forward, bang to Fagan. Fagan with his to Daly. Daly has been up front for around 10 minutes and has put us ahead. Kirk with the ball forward to Robson, brings it down for Fagan. Fagan, one touch to control it, second touch to put through. Daly didn't need a second touch. First touch smashes it into the top corner to make it Boreham 2, Salford 1. I was there resigned to a draw. And Daly, who has been pushed forward due to the injury to Taylor Crossdale, takes that opportunity to score. And out of a negative of Taylor Crossdale going off injured comes a massive positive as we managed to actually get away with the win. Well done, lads. Very good win for us. We'll now see. Hopefully, it was only an orange injury, so hopefully Taylor Crossdale won't be out for too long. But it appears we have yet another striker who can score, and so at least we're not short of options to come in for him. Taylor Crossdale is only out for 1 to 2 days. And we've got a week between now and the next match, so he'll be absolutely fine. But it does give me something to think about with Daly. At least we know we've got another good option to play up front if we need. And that win puts us to 4th in the table. But if we manage to finish anywhere in the top half of the table this season, I will see that as a success. So remarkably, we managed to get 2 wins on today's episode. If you enjoyed that, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to be reminded of brand new FM21 videos from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.